A suspect, identified as a student at the school, has been taken into custody. The 3 wounded students' ages and their injuries weren't immediately known, but the hospital's website identifies them as pediatric patients and lists them in satisfactory condition. Rockford, Spokane County. A student who opened fire in a hallway at a high school south of Spokane killed a classmate who confronted him Wednesday and wounded 3 others before being stopped by a staff member, authorities said. The suspect, who a classmate described as being obsessed with previous school shootings, was taken into custody. The wounded victims were expected to survive, officials said. The shooter brought 2 weapons to Freeman High School in the tiny town of Rockford, but the first one he tried to fire jammed, Spokane County Sheriff Ozzie Nezovich told reporters. He went to his next weapon, Kazanovich said. A student walked up to him, engaged him, and that student was shot. That student did not survive. The sheriff said the shooter fired more rounds down the hallway, striking the other students before a school staffer could stop him. Kazanovich called it a courageous act that prevented further bloodshed. Eliza Vigil, a 14-year-old freshman, told the Associated Press that she saw one male student shot in the head who janitors covered with a cloth and another female student wounded in the back. Michael Harper, a 15-year-old sophomore, said the suspect had brought notes in the beginning of the school year, saying he was going to do something stupid and might get killed or jailed. Some students alerted counselors, the teen told AP, but it wasn't clear what school officials did in response. A call to the school was not immediately returned. Harper said the shooter had many friends and was not bullied, calling him nice and funny and weird and a huge fan of the TV show Breaking Bad. He also said the suspect was obsessed with other school shootings. Students say the shooter was armed with a pistol and rifle and had carried a duffel bag to school. After shots were fired, students went running and screaming down the hallways, Harper said. Authorities didn't release the suspect's identity or a possible motive. The victims also were not named. Luis Prieto, an assistant football coach at Freeman High, called the shooting devastating. This is a real close-knit community, he said. A 12-lane road into the town of about 500 people was clogged as worried parents sped to the school. Some people abandoned their cars on the street to make it to their children. Cheryl Moser said her son, a freshman, called her from a classroom after hearing shots fired. He called me and said, "Mom, there are gunshots." He sounded so scared. I've never heard him like that, Moser told the Spokesman Review newspaper. You never think about something happening like this at a small school. Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center and Children's Hospital received 3 pediatric patients, spokeswoman Nicole Stewart said. They were in stable condition and surrounded by family, she said. Stephanie Luce told AP she was relieved to hear her son was safe after his high school near Freeman High was put on lockdown. She commended the school district for its communication. It's been amazing. Within probably 1,520 minutes of hearing about it, it already received a phone call, it already received a text message saying that their school is okay, she said. She's still worried for others she knew, including a coworker who had yet to hear from her son, a sophomore at Freeman. My stomach's in knots right now, she said. Gov. Jay Inslee said in a statement that all Washingtonians are thinking of the victims and their families, and are grateful for the service of school staff and first responders working to keep our students safe. 1 person is dead and 3 others have been wounded in a shooting at a high school south of Spokane. 1 student was killed Wednesday at a shooting in Freeman High School south of Spokane. Inslee said the Washington State Patrol and other state agencies would assist in the investigation. Heartbreaking headlines out of Spokane County. My thoughts are students, teachers, parents, first responders, the entire community. PM. Senator Patty Murray at Patty September 13, 2017. Freeman High School, with 331 students, is in the Freeman School District. Annie Baxter, whose 2 daughters attend a middle school across the street from the high school, told the Spokesman Review that children were running into buildings when she pulled up to the school area at about 10:15 a.m. Classes were about to begin because it's a late start day, Baxter said. They did a modified lockdown drill yesterday, she said. I thought it was weird because they would do a drill 2 days in a row. Seattle Times staff reporter Christine Claridge and news researcher Miyoko Wolf contributed to this story.